The most difficult phase of any landing, whether it's opposed or not, is the quick and orderly movement of men, equipment and vehicles in order to maintain the momentum of the landing. This is the task of the Amphibious Beach Unit, ABU, a joint force of Royal Marines, Royal Navy and Army elements commanded by a Royal Marines captain, which lands with the first troops. However, we'll take them back to where they came from, the LPD, or assault ship, in which the beach unit forms part of the ship's company. These ships, designed for amphibious operations, carry LCVPs at davits to transport troops and the beach unit to the shore, and also have a flight deck for operating helicopters. Inside the ship are large vehicle decks connected by ramps to an internal dock which can accommodate 4 LCMs. These craft load the vehicles in the ship to transport them and land them. The Amphibious Beach Unit's main task is to prepare and control the beach for these landings. However, we must go still further back for the beginning, to the planning of the exercise, so far as it concerns the beach unit. Admiralty or NATO intelligence supply the main data required, a choice perhaps of 4 or 5 beaches with charts, and if possible, photographs. Other relevant information will include the gradients of the beaches above and below water, the texture of the beach from the point of view of driving vehicles off it, tides, tidal currents, the possibility of surf, the nature of exits from the beach, and some description of the hinterland.
This and a good deal of further information will be brought up to date when possible by one or more SBS recce's, including a survey of conditions on the chosen beach immediately before the landings. Using a beach recorder, they establish the gradients of the beach underwater. From the chart they make, the beachmaster can work out the depth of water at the toe of the LCM ramp at various stages of the tide and advise the AOO and the embarked force commander whether vehicles need to be waterproofed. Using the rest of the up-to-date intelligence supplied by the SBS, plans are completed and the beachmaster holds his final planning meeting on passage to the objective, probably attended by the Met officer.
Sit easy. Now just check who I've got. Beach Unit Sergeant Major, Signal Section Corporal, Bar Commander, Royal Engineer Sergeant and the NCO in charge of plant. Now as you know, we're en route now to Barnstaple Bay here in order to conduct an amphibious landing on Salton Sands which are situated here.
Strong westerly winds at present are blowing in the Atlantic, and these are giving rather a long, low westerly swell, which is coming right in on the beach, giving rather treacherous conditions with breaking surf. However, as the front approaches, the wind should go to the southwest. This will be blowing across the swell and should reduce the swell considerably.
There is an exit from the back of the beach, which you can see marked on the chart here. Now the gradient of the beach is flatter than 1 in 120, as you can see by reference to this chart here. This means that there will be a very large gap, about 500 yards in fact, from the back of the beach to the beaching points out here on the chart. Well, that concludes the general briefing for this landing, and I'll now ask you if you have any questions. Control section.
Considering the possibility of surf on the beach, I just wondered how far you would like me to take a confirmation recce from the centre transits.
Well, I'd like that to be done to a distance of 50 yards each side of the centre transit.
Thank you, sir.
Any more?
No, thank you, sir.
Signal section.
Yeah.
Do you require the beach lateral communications, sir?
Yes, I should like the beach lateral communications to be established in view of the distances involved.
Yes, sir.
Barb.
Yes, sir. Can we arrange for alternative recovery if the barb is already committed?
Yes, if the barb does get committed, I'd like your section, Corporal McMurray, with your Michigans, to stand by to conduct beach recovery of any drowned vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Royal Engineers.
Yes, sir. Will there be any requirement for trackway improvement in the hinterland?
No, this will be the responsibility of the Royal Engineers from the embarked forces.
Yes, sir.
Any heavy opposition to a beach landing would have to be neutralized before troops were landed by LCVPs. If there are still minor forces or snipers to deal with, the beach unit may wait offshore or lie up until the beach has been secured by the first troops to land.
One section, let's go!
Although the beachmaster is responsible for the local defense of the beachhead, he's not complemented to this end. All members of the beach unit carry light weapons, except when they're swimming, but if minor opposition is expected, a beach sub-defense section would be formed from the embarked force and would come under command. If the SBS has not been able to leave markers, the beachmaster will confirm his bearings by reference to the landmarks they've given before fixing the line on which the control section can set up the transits. The swimmers from the control section confirm that the seabed on the safe lanes recommended by the SBS is free from rocks or newly formed sandbanks or runnels. Any large recoverable snags which might damage the hull of a landing craft are removed. It's the beachmaster's responsibility to decide whether the state of the sea, particularly any surf, would endanger the landings. If it was much more than you see here, he'd have to advise the ship to delay the operation. As soon as the safe lanes are established and cleared, the signal section calls in the first LCMs, already on passage from the LPD. Meanwhile, at the chosen beach exit, the engineers section may be required to check for mines. Their sergeant estimates the amount of clearing and levelling that will be required and reports back to the beachmaster. The first two LCMs will normally bring in the beach unit's plant, all of it driven and accompanied by the REME and Royal Engineers sections of the ABU. The BARV, Beach Armoured Recovery Vehicle, which can go out into a maximum operating depth of 9, push off a grounded LCM or tow in a drowned vehicle. A Michigan rough terrain tractor fitted with an A-frame for laying trackway. Another Michigan fitted with an excavating bucket. A 4-tonner with tentage and stores, and usually a half-tonner. The A-frame was specially designed by the Royal Marines for the speedy laying of Class 30 trackway. Whoever is supervising must stand well clear while it's being laid, as it obscures the driver's view during the operation.